Hello and welcome to another Glenn Maney Talks Chelsea. As you know, I only normally do match reviews, but I've been on Twitter and Matthias De Ligt of Juventus is getting some stick this afternoon just in case he joins Chelsea. He's got 127 million buyout clause at Juventus, which Juventus are thought to be considering cutting dramatically because his wages, which are about £260 a week, are thought to be excessive for them, and they're going through a little bit of a financial crisis. So he's getting hammered. He's getting hammered on Twitter. He's a flop. Bloke's practically useless. Now, the young lad is 22. He's gone from Ajax, where he was an established first team regular. He played 77 games there and scored 8 goals. He's a Netherlands international. He's played 31 games for them and scored 2 goals. And now he's gone to Juventus. He's played 61 games and has got 6 goals for them. That's in 2 seasons, and he's had to adjust to life in Italy, obviously, but he's had the benefit of playing with Bonucci and Chiellini. This bloke is apparently rubbish, according to some of our fans, and the reason he's rubbish is because, well, apparently he's a flop at Juventus. Can't see it myself. Certainly when we played against him, he wasn't a flop. But also it's because of Rudiger. And that's the reason I've made this little vlog. It's to get you guys telling me what you think of the Rudiger situation. He's 29 next birthday. He's earning, I've got some of the earnings here that might interest you. I've got them from 3 different sources. I've only put a couple of sources up, but 3 different sources that all say around the same figures, so we'll take it as read. Romelu Lukaku is the highest earner at the club on 300 and I think it's 390 a week. Between 350 and 390 a week. Just behind him, just under £300,000, is N'Golo Kante. Rudiger's quite a way down. He's on £100,000 a week, poor devil. I don't know how he survives. But he's on 20 grand a week less than Callum Hudson-Odoi. Now, Rudiger, I remember not so long ago, under Lampard, and for moments before that, where he wasn't a lot of cop at all. When he played for Sarri, he made some terrible mistakes, and under Lampard, I don't know if it was attitude or whatever, but he was in the team, and remember Lampard dropped him, and quite rightly so. And this wouldn't have even been an issue under Lampard if he was thinking about not renewing his contract. But I have to say, last season and this season, he has been one of the top defenders in Europe, probably. From a guy that wanted him sold purely because of his attitude and his performances, which were lousy, let's remember that, he's turned me round, and I think it's a bit strange that his wage demands are supposedly £200,000 a week, a doubling of his wages. I can't see why the club aren't going for it, because if they go for a replacement, they're probably going to be paying more wages than that, and they're going to have to pay a transfer fee. It doesn't appear to make sense, and I'm asking any of you out there, can you throw any light on it? Have you got any sort of theories as to why the club are only offering £140,000 a week to him. Very interested to hear him, and that's the reason I've made this little vlog. So yeah, it seems weird. I don't know if his attitude under Lampard has stuck in the throats of a few of the hierarchy. None of us are ever going to know that, are we? There's rumours that he was one of the sort of, if you like, ringleaders in down in tools, basically, under Lampard, which a few of them did. But you hear Alonso and you hear Rudiger's name mentioned whenever the subject comes up. Maybe I'm only surmising, I'm only guessing. Maybe a few of the balls saw that and didn't like what they saw. But I personally think, you know, if his attitude's been right since, football is all about winning, isn't it? So I would say maybe, you know, that should be forgiven. Very interesting this week though that Tuchel, when interviewed about Rudiger, said yes, we'd like him to stay. But when pressed on him being linked to Bayern Munich, he said, oh well, he'd be making a good choice. He wasn't really saying, oh, let's keep him. So I do wonder if it could be an attitude thing behind the scenes. I really do. Just been looking through a few of the possible replacements. Pau Torres, 25 next January, at Villarreal. Obviously we know a bit about him. 6'4", big lad. 4 goals in 75 games, 15 games for Spain. Yeah, a good centre half, a good solid centre half. Pretty easy on the eye on the ball as well. Yeah, virtually everyone we're associated with is a good ball player. Probably the lesser of those would probably be Nicholas Saul, the Bayern Munich centre back. Big old beast, good in the air. 6'5", 95 games for Bayern and 5 goals. 37 games for Germany and 1 goal. I say 6'5", big guy. I forgot to say, Torres, they reckon we'd get him for about 65-70 million. Saul, probably about the same. A little bit more expensive than that, probably in the 80 million bracket, realistically, is, as I said, Matthias de Ligt. 6'2", was 22 in August. And as I say, he's been playing with Bonucci and Chiellini. Be like training with Terry and Carvalho, wouldn't it? Let's say, I've given you his figures, they speak for themselves. 2018 Golden Boy Award, didn't know there was such a thing. But that sounds more like a porn award than a football one, doesn't it? But he won it anyway. And I was interested, I've had a real good look at Jules Koundé today. Yeah, he plays the ball out of defence well. 5'10", not that great in the air if I'm brutally honest, and 23 years old in November, a couple of weeks time, and 3 goals in 70 games, 5 games for France. I mean, perhaps Tuchel's seen him, you know, at close hand. If it's a Tuchel signing, perhaps he's seen him at close hand. But yeah, he's severe, and again we're looking at sort of 70 to 80 million, and all these guys are going to be wanting best part of a couple of £100 a week. So it just makes the Rudiger situation really strange. And it's not just the Rudiger situation, is it? Because we've got Christensen out of contract. He's been offered 120 a week. Allegedly he's looking for 140. He said he wants to stay at Chelsea, so hopefully that'll get over the line. Aspie, he wants 2-year contract instead of 1 he's been offered. hopefully they'll come back to him like they did Willie, and he's been a great servant, and I think he's probably earned that 2 years contract. So yeah, we could possibly be really struggling defensively if these guys don't sign. But the Rudiger one's interesting. But I just thought it was funny as well that De Ligt was getting pelters on Twitter just in case he signs for Chelsea. As a social media fan base, we sure know how to make people welcome, don't we? We really do. I remember Mendy, before Mendy signed, he was one of the worst goalkeepers in the world, and because he only cost 20 million, and because he'd been on the dole 5 years ago, he was written off. So hopefully, even the biggest cabbage has learnt from that and judge people on what they do on the park when they finally sign for Chelsea, and stop giving people pelters a year before or 6 months before any potential move. At least let them get to the club before you start slagging them off. Right, that's for me. So let me know what you think about the Rudiger situation. Would you give him his 200,000 a week? Can you throw any light on why they wouldn't be willing to go that far? And can you throw any light on his attitude? Any of you guys that go and watch the training regularly or anything like that? Any rumours you've heard? Let us know, and I'll keep my ear to the ground as well. And if I hear anything, I'll make another one of these. Let us know what you think. Thanks for watching. Oh, subscribe to the channel and throw a like if you like these vlogs. Thanks for watching. Up to Chelsea.